Hey everyone, welcome back to the arena. I'm MD, joined here by my co-host Matt Kavachis, and once again another really special guest that we can't wait to get into. Before any of that, though, really just want to say to our followership, we love you, we appreciate you, we're seeing and feeling you out there, and yeah, really excited to just create another great conversation for you all.
What's going on, everybody? Like MD said, we got another awesome guest here. This is James Moore. James is from Louisville, Kentucky. I think that's our first guest, to my knowledge, from Louisville, Kentucky, so that's pretty cool. James has a Bachelor of Science in Health and Human Performance. He's a licensed massage therapist, and he's amassed a huge following, more than 3.5 million, I think, on TikTok. Maybe I'm understating that, 5 million on Instagram. With content really centered around health and wellness, so which is right up our alley here in this arena. So very, very applicable, and know you guys are going to get a lot of value out of this. So first of all, James, thanks for coming on here. Second of all, why don't you just provide an overview of who is James Moore and how you got to where you are today?
Yeah, well, thanks for having me on. So by trade, I'm a licensed massage therapist. I'm in my massage practice or room here, office. That's what I do. I massage 6 days a week. I come from the health and wellness, like exercise physiology background. So before doing massage, we have a major rehab hospital in Louisville, Kentucky, where I'm come called Fraser Rehab, and I was in the spinal cord medicine program there in the physical therapy department. So I actually specialize in spinal cord injury, brain injury, stroke. So I did a whole decade in rehab, physical therapy, exercise science, exercise physiology. While I was doing that, I at the time at the hospital, I led what's called the Holistic Care Council. So it was there's three major big hospitals, and it was this council, and we talked about how can we take holistic medicine. It doesn't matter what it is, what you do in your practice in healthcare. How can we take holistic modalities and make it better? And so I was in this physical therapy kind of job and in that world, but I really was drawn to massage and more holistic modalities. So fast forward a couple years, right around COVID, I was like, I'm ready to get out of corporate healthcare. So I started More Wellness, my massage practice, and I've been doing it ever since. And in doing that practice, I went headfirst in social media. So that's kind of my thing.
Yeah, and I guess like ultimately take us back a little bit. Like, why do you do what you do? Why did you get into health and wellness more broadly, and then decide to like go all into social media and really put a lot of time and effort into that? Like, what was inspiring that?
Well, the decade at the rehab hospital was really important to me. So when I was 18 years old, it was the senior year, it was the summer before my senior year of high school. I had a traumatic skateboarding accident. I was just going down this massive hill, picked up speed at the very bottom of the hill, and the board wobbled, slipped out. I ended up falling backwards with my head hitting the asphalt. So from that moment, I was in a coma for 2 months. I suffered from traumatic brain injury, I had a trach, a feeding tube. It was crazy. My first memory, I woke up, I was a patient at Fraser Rehab where I worked this last decade. So I had to do physical therapy, occupational therapy to make a full recovery. My recovery was very quick. I then went on and I was really passionate about music. I joined a band. I did toured, playing punk rock, hardcore kind of stuff. This was right about a year after my injury. Quit school and I was just a punk rocker, touring, played every state in the U.S., toured Canada. And then I was like, you know what? I would really love to work at the hospital that I recovered in. So I went back to school and that's what I did. So I originally just started motivational speaking in the brain injury department, telling my story. Hey, I'm a TBI survivor. I've had a full recovery. And then so as the decade went on, I really found, I don't know, importance into like holistic modalities, meditation, massage, aromatherapy. I was leading that holistic council that I was telling you about. Through my brain injury recovery, all of these things were massive: massage, relaxation, meditation. So I was always really drawn to that. So I stayed at the hospital for a decade because it was special to me. I'd been there. I was just happy to be there and be on the other side. I wasn't a patient. I was a provider. But there was just something so organic and awesome about massage, and I was like, I want to do it. COVID came, and I was like, dude, I'm getting out of here. My wife is also a massage therapist, so we have a gym here we're at a small airport in Louisville, and so she already had this gym. She does personal training. She had a massage studio, so I was like, come COVID, I was like, screw it, I'm joining you. So my wife does personal training in the gym that's connected to my office, so it's kind of nice. So when people want to go get fit, they go to her, and then people get hurt, she sends them to me. But that's kind of my story. It really, I don't really talk about my traumatic brain injury too much. Certainly online, I've maybe mentioned it once, but I'm kind of, it's important. I mean, it's important to me. I'm proud to be a TBI survivor and fully recovered.
Yeah, I'm just curious, and if you wouldn't mind, keep going into it a little bit. Just 2 months in a coma, what that experience is like post, what that sort of.
Okay, cool. Yeah, so the coma, I mean, I have no memory of it. I do have like memories of coming out of it, and I was really medicated and things like that. But it's a crazy thing. You know, I woke up 18 and I didn't know where I was, who I was, what was going on. All I knew that I remember I have an identical twin brother, and he was actually with me during. He was behind me when I was skateboarding, so he was there with me the whole time. So one of the first memories I remember up is my twin brother in the hospital brought me my guitar. We always played punk rock in bands growing up, and so I was like, I remembered how to play guitar, and that was really important for me. It was less about like, hey, can I do math or can like cognitively get through this stuff. It was like I remember how to play guitar, and that was really important to me. But it was crazy. I mean, I'm 33 now. Everyone from 18 to 33 is different, and I'm certainly changed from the brain injury. It's been kind of nice though doing this thing, having this recovery because I have an identical twin brother. So it's been a nice comparison, you know, like, okay, he doesn't have a brain injury, didn't have that, but where is he? So he's a successful music video director right now, and he does commercials and stuff like that. But it's been nice. He's really been helpful in my recovery. Like, okay, hey, we're good, you know. But my recovery was really quick. Like I said, I was in the hospital for many months, but then as far as my rehab, it was only like 2 weeks, and then I did some outpatient rehab. And I was like, okay, I'm good. Then I finished school online. The very next summer, or the very next semester, I started college. I got straight A's, and I was like, dude, okay, I just had a brain injury, and I just got straight A's in college. Something is working. But it was really a development for me. Who am I? I really had to work hard saying my identity is not brain injury. That's why it was important. I joined that band. I started going on tour. I was like, dude, I'm halfway through college. I can play punk rock. I'm a good performer. I was like, I'm okay. And that's what I did for every year. I was like, I'm okay. I'm okay. And that's how I really moved through that. Now it's like this August it'll be 16 years, and now I'm coming back, and I said, okay, for 10 years I said I'm okay, I'm okay, I'm okay. But what I realized was on the mental health aspect, there were some things that maybe I didn't address. Like, it's a lot of emotional thing to move through a brain injury and just say every day I pushed through, I plowed through my emotions so much that I felt like a decade later they came back. So I'm talking about it more now, and I think there's more to uncover and work through.
I think you'll probably want to go into that more. Quickly, though, a thought that I had was what jumped out to me was how important it was to you to remember to play guitar. And we've talked to people who actually have suffered cardiac arrest and came back, and the things that they were grateful for that they otherwise were never really paying much attention to, like being able to pour themselves a glass of water, put on their shoes, get outside, etc. I am curious, like in your experience,
Mm-hmm.
what else how else did your perspective of gratitude shift? Along in that list of like being able to play guitar.
So it happened on August 1st, 2008. So every year after that, my family, we called it James is Alive Day. We just celebrated me being here. I mean, I literally almost didn't make it. And that was every year was gratitude. I'm here. I'm alive. And and even working the decade in the rehab hospital, I also had a lot of trauma, a lot more trauma than I had. And, I'm thankful to be here. I'm thankful. And it was all about gratitude. I'm thankful to be alive. And that's when it comes back to my health and wellness journey. It's like health and wellness journey now, my career. It's like I am here for a reason. I want to honor my body and do the best with it. because I got a second shot, and it's crazy. So I definitely come back to that a lot, most definitely.
Like, imagine if we had an alive day every day. Like, if we just personally celebrated ourselves every single day for being alive. I think that's like being in kind of that state of gratitude. And you mentioned also like plowing through emotions, and then it all kind of like started to unravel after a decade or whatever it was. What does that look like? What does it look like to plow through emotions? How does that show up in your life? And like then what kind of led to ultimately you hitting this point where you had this realization that you indeed were quote unquote plowing through these emotions?
Plowing through.
Yeah.
And this is where I've come today. So kind of reeling back, like I've started reeling back a little bit. So I started my business. I was doing massage, and I was like, dude, I told my wife I'm gonna post every day for 30 days on TikTok. This is in 2021. And before I knew it, I had many viral videos, and I figured out how to do it. I had like a couple 100,000 followers, and I was like, wow, I can make money on this. So fast forward to now, I have almost 11 million followers on all platforms. I reached 1 billion people in 90 days on Instagram. It's insane. So in that, I've made more money. I'm like really focused on online stuff. But then I just found suddenly myself like, it was these massive dopamine hits every single day. Pull up. Wow. I just had 225 million people just saw my video of last week. It was like, I like 3.3 million people just liked my post. It was just these massive dopamine hits. And I don't know if many influencers talk about this aspect of it, but it's like, that's where you can get kind of carried away in it. It's like I'm on my phone all the time, and so this last December I was like, dude, I just had increased anxiety. I was just like doing so much social media about health and wellness, but I wasn't taking care of my own emotional aspects there. Where I live, everybody's alcohol is really involved. So being with increased alcohol, increased social media, increased anxiety, it did not work. And I felt like who I was presenting online, this health and wellness person, and who I actually was experiencing and what my day to day, there was a big shadow there, and it didn't do me well. So I was like, okay, I need to back up. So I definitely set some boundaries on when I'm going to check my phone, when I'm going to post about, how much I'm going to do, reel back the alcohol intake, just all like really just living the health and wellness stuff that I preach about. And my wife's been a huge help on that. Like I said, my wife is a healthy lifestyles coach. So she literally, people hire her she tells people how to be healthy and whether it's nutrition or food or exercise or just lifestyle. So I kind of had that hitting point at the end of last year. Just so I was working on, like I said, I'm a one-man show. I do all my videos. I do everything, which is great. But the mental health kind of gets there. So I'm definitely more focused on taking care of myself and being more authentic of who I present online. I want to really be that. So that's kind of
Yeah.
where I'm at.
Yeah, no, and then my other question to follow up on that is what does taking care of emotions look like for you? I think you had mentioned that, but like, is that, therapy? Is that journaling? Is that giving yourself space to just feel? Like, what does that process look like?
I think it's all of those things. I've been going to counseling every week for years. I mean, my wife and I go to counseling, and I love it. And here's the thing: for me, growing up, counseling was like bad. It was like, oh, if you're going to counseling, there's something wrong with you. And I just don't feel that anymore. It's like I don't have to go to counseling just because I'm like not doing well. I'm doing great, but I need that person. So I've been with one counselor for 3 years, and it's really helpful because he's seen my freaking roller coaster of my career and my marriage and my family stuff and all that. So I think counseling's been huge for me. Journaling every night, that's really helpful. Doing healthy lifestyle practices, getting more sleep, not staying up just cause, going to bed early. And when it's funny because when I am more in tune with all health and wellness things, going to bed earlier, being consistent with working out, eating right, not drinking alcohol, I am so much closer to my wife, and where our connectivity is so much closer, that everything's just easier. My life is easier when I'm close to my wife, and I feel better. So this year has been really in that vibe, and I love it. Absolutely love it.
Let me just. So you emphasize not drinking alcohol. Like you listed all those things, and when you said not drinking alcohol, there was a little bit of a shift in your tone. So I'm just wondering if
Oh
there's
yeah.
anything that comes up when I say that.
Yeah. I mean, alcohol. Like I said, we live in Louisville, Kentucky. People drink here. My family drinks. And that's that's it's not helpful for the health and wellness. Like drinking alcohol, I sleep worse. I have increased anxiety. If I do not drink or consume anything, like I had some alcohol this weekend, a little bit more increased anxiety today because of that. It's just in the system. So I'm like kind of slowly moving away from that. Last year I did 110 days no alcohol. Felt amazing. So I'm not to the point where I want to be like, yo, it's weird because when you say you don't drink or you're stopping to drinking, it's the one thing that people are like, "Oh, you must have a problem, right?" It's like, well, no, it's promoting health and wellness. I mean, you can't argue that alcohol is healthy in any way, and that is more. There's more. I feel like people on social media talking about the detrimental aspects of alcohol, and certainly, I'm presenting myself in this health and wellness status and talking about sleep habits and all this other stuff. And like I said, I just want to be showing up in a more authentic way. You know what I mean? And that means not being an overconsumer of alcohol, no doubt.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just starting to get certifications and start to build out my own, holistic health and wellness coaching practice for my own
Hmm.
self, and I've found a healthy pressure, if you will, to really embody and live according to what I ultimately want to coach others to, in some ways,
Hmm.
abide by. And I'm just curious for you to have done it and then have slipped down a slope a little bit of feeling like you no longer associate with the identity you're portraying online. Like, speak to just the moral dilemma and the pressure you were putting on yourself to feel like I have to get back to this, not just from a performance standpoint, but from like an integrity and like feeling authentic and good about myself standpoint.
Totally. My wife really is encouraging being authentic and all that kind of things. I'll be honest. I'm a performer. I've played music my whole life. I am totally down to fake it until I make it, and I kind of did. And I'm like, okay, I presented myself as this expert of this, this, and this, which I am. I have the credentials, I have this and that, but um, I just for my mental health, and I'm starting to talk about mental health. That's the biggest thing and I'm not a counselor. I don't have any I'm just sharing experiences and feelings, and that's one thing I've done with my page. Like as I started, I was very niche down. I only talked about massage and stretching and like back pain, but now I'm talking about like mental health, anxiety, sauna, like cold plunge. I'm trying to branch out, so I'm reaching more people, and mental health falls into that status. So, um, yeah, and I just want to be more authentic, just to, but with this many people, I get lots of DMs, and I am trying to set boundaries where I don't want to put my entire emotional feeling. Hey guys, I'm having a bad day. It's like no, no one cares about me. I want to help people. I'm not one of those creators like, hey guys, my name's James Moore. I don't. People don't care about me. It's what I can offer and what I bring to it. And I feel like for me in social media, I want to educate or entertain. If I'm not doing that and I'm just talking about myself, I mean, that's a waste. So I do want to create a boundary where I don't want to put all my feelings and my emotional stuff online, but I do want to start talking about more things. And I think everyone deals with mental stuff, so that's definitely a thing that I like to be talking about right now.
Well, I will say, James, I think people do care about you. They wouldn't follow you, and I don't mean that just from a place of like they like your content, but I think there's clearly something that whether it's the way you write, whether it's the type of content that resonates with people, and I think there is. I think people do care, and I think you. I'm not saying to go throw all your feelings out there. That's not what I'm
Yeah.
suggesting, but I do think there's a healthy medium, which is I think kind of what you're getting at, where people feel less alone
Hmm.
when someone they're inspired by, when they can relate to someone they're inspired by. And to
Right.
hear like, oh, James
Definitely.
is, talking about his mental health, that makes me feel a little bit less alone. And like, I can talk about my mental health. And I think that there's such a domino effect in doing that. And it's really powerful. So I guess like based on what you've seen, maybe online, through your practice, all your experience, like where do you feel like people are neglecting the most as it relates to health and wellness? What part of holistic health or wellness do you see that people kind of tend to push away from or shy away from or not give as much attention it deserves? Like, I'll speak for me personally, definitely mobility. Like, I am super into working out and fitness and exercise and health, but I've really neglected like mobility, and it's starting to catch up to me, and I'm seeing like, oh shoot, I really need to prioritize this if I want to like,
I got you.
yeah, so just speak to that.
Yeah, I think it comes back to the basics of like literally the basics. Getting sunlight, going to bed is early, sleeping, actually getting proper sleep and reducing screen time. Um, it's hilarious because as a catch 22 is like I want people to follow me and be in I post 6 times a day on all platforms. Like I'm in it, but I'm also like, I'm setting the boundary where I'm not on my phone at 9 o'clock at night. I'm freaking reading a book. I'm reading The Lord of the Rings and going to bed. Not there's no and that like I said, this is in line with my wife because this is what she does for people. She's my wife's 13 years older than me and she can run circles around everyone my age. It's insane. But there's no pill for good sleep. There's no magic pill for sunlight. There's just like the basic stuff I think is the most important um, to reaching our goals in health and wellness. I don't talk about food because I don't. It's not really my wheelhouse. And I made one post about it, and people are going crazy. So I don't really want to get into too many things, but I don't really care what people eat and stuff like that. Like I have a way that I eat. Like I'm pretty much more carnivore kind of vibe. I'm gluten free, just for my skin purposes and stuff like that. But I think to answer your question, um, the basics: sleep, sunlight, you know, things like that.
That's so consistent with just everything that I've been learning recently. A lot of the conversations we've been having, it always just stems back to the basics. The summary to me is that living a healthy lifestyle is quite simple. Whether it's eating broccoli, going to bed, drinking water, breathing, getting a massage, these are all very simple, easy things to do. I think what makes it difficult is the level of misinformation out there, the level of bad habits or unhealthy things that are so often normalized with just how everyone's day-to-day routines are.
Hmm.
And I want to just learn more about from you, like, a massage could seem so simple at a surface that people would roll their eyes at it, but maybe speak to some of like the powerful impacts it can have, especially how it connects to mental health, physical health, and things more holistically than just feeling good in that moment.
Oh, totally. Yeah, I mean, I'm biased because I'm a massage therapist, but what I love about it, like I booked a massage for myself tomorrow. I booked off the rest of my day. The cool thing, I mean, these are basic facts that I know, but I guess a lot of people don't know. But when you get a massage, yes, it relaxes your muscles. It also spikes your good hormones, decreases bad hormones. That's why you feel so freaking good for hours or days afterwards. It's a meditative thing, and so if you find a therapist that you really like that really tunes in, just like anything in health and wellness, like the massage umbrella is so big. There's Thai massage, there's like spa massage, there's therapeutic, like orthopedic massage, there's injury massage. So you really got to find something that works for you. Um, but going to get a massage is great. What I really like to tell people about is how to self massage, like using a foam roller or a lacrosse ball. You should see me and my wife every night. We're rolling out, like stretching and doing all that stuff because sets me up for nighttime. I get off my phone, I get on the ground, I'm moving around, and so that's the biggest thing. Yeah, like even in my practice, I'll work on somebody, and I don't sell packages. I don't tell people to come back and see me. I'm like, this is what you need to do. Grab a freaking lacrosse ball, get a foam roller, and you need to start doing this on the regular. Because you can't get a massage every day, but you can massage yourself every day. And so that's I just dropped a back pain course last summer, and it's and for 14 days. And the second half of this course, I demo on how to massage your back with a lacrosse ball, back in a foam roller, because I think it's so important, and it's a skill, and it's something you have to learn to do. But dude, it's a game changer for like mobility, for injury, not only prevention but for treatment too. So I think that's really huge.
What stigmas, if any, do you see, from maybe clients who were initially hesitant, or why people don't go and get into massage therapy?
And you just gained, by the way, you just gained one more customer because I roll my back out, but I don't think I do it right, or there's parts I'm missing. So you finally got another customer, James. But anyway,
I
go ahead.
love that. Yeah, the stigma for massage, I mean, especially being a male massage therapist, a lot of men are like, yo, I'm not going to go get a massage from a male. They have that. And then some women are like, no, I'm not comfortable. But, for me in my career as a massage therapist, I've always tried to present first my medical experience and background, and, my sports, exercise science, physiology kind of background. Yeah, I can rub oil on a naked person for an hour, but I don't do that. We're getting in there and like, showing exercises, showing stretches, talking about nutrition, talking about hydration and things. And the average massage therapist at a spa probably ain't going to do that. So that's kind of my difference. Just moving through some of those uncomfortable things. Because massage, when a practice, it's very intimate. Think about it. You show up in a clinic of someone you don't know that you just met, and maybe 10 minutes later, you're expected to take off your clothes and get on a bed and allow them to massage you. It's very, in our culture, like, whoa, that's interesting. But that's the cool thing about massage. It's been around for literally eons, and all over the world, everybody uses it in one form or another.
Did you have to overcome a sense of that when you first got into massage therapy?
Like for me, like being uncomfortable with it.
Yeah, like when was your first massage, or like did you have to overcome any sort of hesitancy around just
Oh
the field in general?
no, I got a massage like like my mom always, we have a like a big salon in Louisville, and they always do like this neck. When you get your hair cut, they do a neck massage. And I remember my mom took me there when I was little. I was like maybe 12 or 13, and they gave me a neck massage. I was like, wow, that's awesome. When I got my hair cut, I've always been drawn to that concept of relaxation, and that's what for me massage is all about. And you know, I never struggled with being that odd aspect to it. I will say the status of what we're talking about, massage being like sexualized and things like that, I swear it is only American thing. Because if you look at European massage, Brazilian massage, even on the internet, like what Instagram, I would get a violation if I posted some of these other massage videos. Because American culture sexualizes the hell out of everything, especially massage. And all over the world, it's not. Like our American draping for a massage is very like I over drape and under touch. Oh, and if you go and get a European massage or somewhere else, and you know, then you're very exposed, and there's lots
Oh,
of touching and
oh yeah.
sexual. It's just
I've
it's
got a
crazy.
story, man. So I was gonna tell this story, which is not. I probably no. I'll share it. I was in Italy last summer, and we were staying at a resort with my family in Rome, and they gave as part of the suite we were staying at, they gave like a couples massage, like a complimentary one. And my mom does not like massages, and I love them. Like, of course, like I think
Yeah,
to me, for me, the biggest hurdle is just the price, which is why I love what you're doing, which is giving people the tools to do it on their own. And I go into this massage, so it's a couples massage, and I got the only person that would do it, and I thought it would just be a normal massage, was my dad. So me and my dad walk into this massage, and I can't even explain how intimate, but just the type of massage, like, yeah, you. What'd you say? Under touching and over draping? Well, this was under draping and
yes,
over touching.
exactly. It's like whoa,
It was like I couldn't believe what I was doing, but it was a great massage. It was very eye opening because I have gotten a massage here in the States as well. It was years ago, but it was just totally different. Great
right?
experience. Totally different.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'm
definitely.
gonna have to stick in the self massage camp, regardless of what country I go. Give me the lacrosse ball. I'll start rolling myself out.
I've had some clients be like, "Well, I don't know if I want to come in. That might be uncomfortable." I'm like, "Okay, I don't. I'm not going to try to convince anybody to get a massage. I like. It's like if you're an adult and you have never had a professional massage, you're missing out, and you need to move through that. I mean, I guess I know everyone has their things they're working through, but massage, I just like, it pisses me off when people sexualize it because I'm a professional in that field, and I offer it a quality service, and I think everyone should experience that because it's lovely. So
Yeah, it is lovely. All right, your punk rock phase. What did you
yeah.
learn through that phase? Like, I mean, just like more broadly speaking, like, what did you learn about yourself through that whole phase journey?
Um, I don't know. I learned music playing at church when I was in middle school, and then I found punk rock and indie music, and when I was 16, me and my twin brother, we joined a band. I played a show every single weekend in high school. We made our own flyers. We like made our own shows. It was very DIY punk. We got other bands in to play, and I was just really drawn to that community, and it was cool. Like every weekend, I was playing a show and writing songs. I've always wrote my own music. That's been always really important to me. I also have two older brothers who also play music. There's four more brothers, and we all play music. We've all been in bands. We've all toured, and it was just the coolest thing. So that's especially having a brain injury at 18. I played music from like 15 to 18. I was already playing shows. Then I had the brain injury, and then recovering from brain injury, still staying within that community of music. By the time I was 19, I was already like doing East Coast tours with my band, different city every night. Literally, when I say tour, it sounds fancy. It's not. It means that we go and play in somebody's basement in a different city, and there's probably like 200 people there, and then you take your sleeping bag out of the van, you sleep on the hardwood floor at someone's house. That's what I did for years. It's punk as hell. Totally, it's we don't people don't need to do that anymore. I mean, this is like prior to everyone having smartphones and all that stuff. But it was really important for me, like I said, moving through brain injury to have that identity outside of that, the community aspect. Also, during that time, from 18 to 24, I was straight edge, which I don't know if you guys know what straight edge is, but it's in the punk hardcore community. It means that you don't drink and you don't smoke. It's not a religious thing at all. It's not. It's like a brotherhood almost. If you're edge, that means like, yo, I don't need to fuck with that. I'm good. And that was really awesome. I had a community for me, a community in that. I had like my best friends. Nobody drank. My twin brother drank. But then it was like when I was like 24, 25, alcohol slowly showed up in my life. And then over the last decade, it's increased. And that's why we were talking about alcohol earlier, where I've had this like primitive time, 18 to 24, where alcohol was not in my life, and it was great. And now that it's in my life, and I have this health and wellness like presentation, it's interesting. So
I did want to talk to you a little bit more about how you talked about how you're starting to move your content more into the mental health space, and I'm just curious, was that sort of was there like a natural connection between some of the benefits you were seeing from the massage therapy, maybe overlapping with other forms of like more emotional healing or mental healing, like talk therapy? Is there a fair amount of connection you can impart on us, but then also just speak more broadly about how you're starting to tap more into the mental health space?
I think, I mean, to be pretty transparent about it, one reason that I'm a good content creator is because I am a consumer of social media. I don't do a post. I don't make up things and be like, I'm going to create this. I think in social media, it's not who's the most creative, and it's not who has the most original idea, because nobody does. If you look at it, we're all recreating things, and you see something that did well. So I can see on TikTok, someone have a mental health post. It'll have like 3 million likes talking about a status. I'll be like, okay, I already know there's a massive audience for this topic. I'm going to do the same thing, but I'm going to make it a better video, and I'm going to make it about me. There you go. And so I saw that over the last like year, mental health has been showing a lot more up on Instagram and TikTok and Facebook and all that, where it's relatable, it's shareable. People are like, yeah, hell yeah, I get that. So even like doing a mental health like POV, like, um, like saying a situation of something about mental health that's really relatable. I'll even put in the comment like, comment if you relate. Well, I'm like, something that's so basic that we all experience. It's like, okay, I relate. So that was my biggest draw because I knew there was an audience for it. I don't post about pinky pain because there ain't no one cares about pinky pain. You know what I mean? Like, I might have my finger hurts. I don't want to. So I always just really focused on what I already know there is an audience for. But like I said earlier, I want to branch out. I don't want to just be mental health. I also want to be the back pain guy. I also want to be the. I just did a post right before getting on here, like how to get taller through posture. I'm sure it's people are hating on it right now, but I want to expand. Like I feel like if I don't have some hate comments on there, I'm not posting bold enough for people. I feel like as my page has gotten grown and grown, I've gotten more negative comments. I've gotten some crazy DMs, and I just don't care. I love it. My goal is to help people, but I'm doing it in a way that it's kind of controversial sometimes.
Yeah, which is, that's just part of the business. How does anyone do, I feel like this would be so great. Like, I'm just picturing myself, like, doing a massage while also, like, having this massage therapist, like, being, like, a mindfulness instructor so they can provide some sort of meditation or guided meditation while you're getting massage. Because I just think about how relaxing and how meditative and, like, good that would be for just, like, my mental health, but also, obviously, like, the physical benefits of getting a massage.
Yeah, I do energy work as well. It's also known as like Reiki. I don't advertise because I hate talking about it, but I might include that in a session. So energy work is kind of like, you have your chakras in your body. And so you might find a therapist. I'm somewhere in between. I'm more like, I have a hot towel. I have a room, always have some essential oils diffusing. And I might start the session like, hey, let's make some space to relax, talk them through it. Some people, it just depends on each client. But if someone wants more energy work, might just put my hands not even on their body, just kind of in that energy space, and I'm trained to help people move through in different energies and open up chakras and things like that. So yeah, like I don't know anybody that does like a meditative practice while massaging, but certainly like more energy work and that kind of vibe. Like I even have a therapist that I see in Louisville, and she'll see me for massage, and then she'll get on the table after I'm off of it and sense what energy I'm going through, and then call and tell me what's going on. She's like, I feel like your masculine energy is like really down. This energy, it's really cool. That's not everybody's cup of tea. Some people will think that's like kind of not.
That's right. I
Whatever.
believe that, man. I feel energy's real, so I'm with you. I'm in that camp.
Has it resonated with you? Like, has she called and said your masculine energy is down, and you're like, yeah, you're spot on because this is what I'm noticing too?
Oh, definitely. I mean, that's been wonderful. The therapist I'm seeing tomorrow, she's more like orthopedic, like me. Like I'm going because my back's been hurting. She's not doing energy work, and I'm fine with it. I got my counselor this week. I've been meditating and doing all my practices. But yeah, it's cool. That's the cool thing about massage, and just like any other practice, there's so many different specialties. I'm also trained in Thai massage. I don't practice it because um, I think you either got to be a Thai massage therapist or you're not. But that's where I get a lot of. I post a lot about like partner stretches. Like if your partner's back hurts, do this, and it's coming out of Thai massage, which is a Thai massage is done on the floor, fully clothed, and it's usually done on like a futon. It's really a lot of stretching and stuff like that. It's very cool.
And then, from your perspective, a licensed massage therapist, what are just like simple things someone like myself can be doing just to improve kind of like overall mobility, overall functionality of my body? Like something like sitting up straight, but just some simple things that we can all take away from this conversation.
I think the biggest thing for people with posture and muscle tightness, people are like, "Oh, my back is tight." Well, technically speaking, and I can say this is just about for everybody, is that think about this: every single thing we do is in front of us. So that means our anterior shoulder and our pec major and pec minor are really shortened. We're in this driving, eating, sleeping. We're always reaching forward, and then we're looking down. So the whole anterior side of our chest, pec, and shoulders are really tight. And what that means is it rounds our back, and that makes our upper back really overly stretched like this. So our back hurts not because technically it's tight. Technically, most people's backs are overly stretched and rounded. So what we really need to do is stretch the front of our body and then strengthen our back. So the best like stretch for the upper body is like any kind of chest opening stretch. My favorite would just be your hands behind your back, drop the head back, and then
Ooh,
really open up like
look at
nice and
that.
really always, yeah. And now I feel I just nice pop crack release, and my chest is a little bit more open. And I feel awesome. Like I do this stretch almost every hour, door frame stretches, and the same goes for the lower body. When we're in a seated position, obviously our hip flexors in the front are really tight because they're flexed, and our butt and our hamstrings are actually overly stretched. So stretching the front of our body and strengthening the back of the body is really helpful. Um, so just doing like body weight exercises. I'm not a massive yogi, but I really promote yoga. I think it's great. Like if no one's ever done a yoga class, like a yin yoga class is like really relaxing and stuff like that. Doing that, and then just all the self health and wellness things. This is my thing. I think there's no magic formula, but this is everybody's job. Is that no one knows you more than you. Like you, each of us are our biggest patient advocates, and our job is to figure out what the hell is our formula. How much of this? How much massage? How much sauna? How much cold plunge do you need? And with what frequency? And no doctor or no person is going to tell you that. But that's the fun part, but it's also the hard part because it's the journey, and that's what we're all doing. So we got to figure out what's our formula, you know?
No, totally. It's all bio individual, and I think what you're alluding to is just very like functional medicine-y, which is like let's actually approach the problem at its root, which is let's stretch in certain areas of our body so that we no longer have back pain. Whereas I think more commonly you might just see somebody take a painkiller. So I'm wondering, like, do you see that often where like clients are maybe addressing the problem more symptomatically versus at the root?
No, no doubt. I saw a client today, and telling me that doctor wrote her a muscle relaxer. I'm like, sorry, Flexerol will not solve your problem. Like, what's your sleeping position? How stressed are you? Where's your emotional level? How hydrated are you? What's your diet? How much alcohol you're drinking? And is it normal for you to be in this position? Because if so, I can imagine why your back hurts. And that pill is not going to solve any of those things. So I think it's so much easier, and that's just our culture. We want the doctor. We'd rather go to the doctor and say, fix me, than do all the hard work. And it is hard. But once you start it, you're like, okay, this is cool. I feel better. I feel way better than just
Yeah,
taking
man,
medicine.
that's just the stuff that irritates me. And I'll spare everyone the venting, but the slapping a pill on something to not fix the actual problem is just something that I feel like I'm at a personal war at. But anyway, I think you were.
No, I mean, that's Western medicine.
Yeah.
Um, so I guess to wrap this up, James, people fill in the blanks. People should be spending more time on X and less time on fill in the blank.
People should be spending more time with their partners and their community and people, and less time on their phones.
Yes, I love it.
You're gonna feel better if you get off your damn phone. It's
Yes.
just hilarious because I want you to be on your phone and watch all my videos. But after you watch all my videos, then get off and go hang out with your people.
If you're gonna consume, at least consume like stuff that is healthy for you, is hopefully helping you grow, is hopefully helping you gain knowledge, whatever it might be. I'm a content creator myself, so go watch my stuff too. No, I'm kidding.
Okay,
But
right on.
point being, yes, I agree, and I just think there's so much. I preach this in terms of just like the quality of our relationships being the quality of our lives, and just getting out there and having face-to-face conversations and real connections. It for me, it fills me up, and I think it probably does for a lot of others if you're willing to kind of allow yourself to be seen and heard. And so, do you have anything else before we wrap up? So James, we got three. First of all, thank you very much for this conversation. This was fun. This was fun, man. I didn't think I was going to tell the story about me and my dad going to get a couples massage in Italy, but here we are. The first question I have for you is, if you had we're gonna have three rapid fire questions. So the first one is the best piece of advice you've ever been given, or just like your favorite quote.
Favorite quote was from Lord of the Rings because I'm a massive Lord of the Rings fan. It's at the very end when Frodo is holding his little ring and he gets this flashback to Gandalf, which is the wizard, and he says, Gandalf is saying in his mind, he was like, damn, I wish this never happened to me. And then Gandalf comes back and says, so do all who see such times. But he said that's not for us to decide. He said all we have to decide is what to do with the time that is given to us. And it's just goosebumps for me. I always come back to that. That goes back to my brain injury. I'm gifted. I woke up today, and I got to figure out what to do with the time that's given me. And you always want to do it in the best way that supports you and who you love around yourself.
I love
so
that.
Thanks,
man.
Gandalf. I think that's.
I
Yep.
love that. Second question: if you could have dinner with anyone in the world, dead or alive, who would it be?
Who would that be? Who would that be? I'm a massive Ty Dolla $ign fan, or I think Justin Bieber. I told my wife, I was like, dude, honestly, I feel like I could be friends with Justin Bieber. I don't know why. It'd be cool. I don't know.
Hey, if you
I kind of
feel it,
like,
man, it's probably true.
yeah.
Lastly, just what do you like to do in your free time? Hobbies. What does James like to do?
Other than like health and wellness stuff, like lifting weights and things like that, I'm really good at tech decking. The little fingerboard. Whew. I can slay, I can kick flip, I can do all that stuff.
Middle
I,
school
I just
throwback.
love it. It gets me off on my phone. And my wife makes fun of me. I don't care. It's freaking amazing. I love it.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. All right, well, we're gonna wrap up here, guys. Thank you again, James. We really appreciate it. Really appreciate the conversation, your wisdom, your time. We're signing off.